Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you once again for those who have liked and subscribed to the channel so far. It's a new channel, but it's highly qualitative content. And so I want to encourage you, if you've yet to like and subscribe, do so now. And as we begin the topic today, and we're going to be talking about today on how insurance works and why they are important, or are they important and to you. So let's get started. What is insurance and what is it important and how does it work? So insurance is a financial product that is sold by insurance companies, financial companies, and the purpose of it is to safeguard you and your property against the risk of loss, fire, theft, damage. Of course, when it comes to the place of life insurance, worst case scenario, death as well. Now, so how does it work? Simply put, you have a meeting with an advisor. They have a look at the areas that are most relevant to you, ask you some important questions. At the end of that meeting, you come to an agreement and say, yep, I'm prepared to pay for this amount of value for this level of monthly premium. As long as you keep that monthly premium going every single month, you remain protected. The moment you default or you cancel your direct debit, then unfortunately the risk resurfaces and you're no longer protected. And if anything should happen in that moment, unfortunately, you're not covered. And that's a major issue that you don't want to have as well. How does it work? Now, of course, again, most people have life insurance, car insurance, and all of these things and more. But it's important to understand the differences. Car insurance, building insurance, content insurance, they're all general type of insurance. Whereas when you come to the place of personal insurance, like critical illness, income protection, so they all come under as life insurance effectively. Now, those would be medically underwritten. And what that means is when you take out a life insurance, when you take out a critical illness, when you take out an income protection, etc., you will be asked medical questions. And the purpose of that is to understand where your health is right now, to then see if the insurance company are willing to take you on based on that, the medical disclosure, if it's too risky or if it's fine, and again, they will give you a decision based on what the disclosure is. Now, it is very important to always disclose, because failure to disclose could result in a claim not being successful. Failure to disclose could also mean that if the insurance company were to do a random check with a GP and find out that you do have health issues that you didn't say at the beginning of doing the policy, then you stand a risk of, number one, your policy is being cancelled. And again, insurance company do share information. So it could be that if you want to try and take out insurance again with another provider, you might not be able to do it so because the information would have been shared that you didn't disclose. Okay. Anyway, that is to one side. So how does it work? Now, in order to decide the type of insurance you need to, number one, consider this. Why do you need it? Why do you need this cover? One thing I always say in my meetings is that it's not every type of cover that will be relevant to everyone. There are certain policies that I would have done for a husband and wife. And if I'm sitting in front of a single person, certain policies may not be as relevant to that single person as compared to the, husband and wife who has a family as well. So it's important to understand, why do I need this? If anything happens to me, who will be impacted financially? And if there isn't anyone that will be impacted financially, then the question is that policy relevant now, or can it wait till later? Save your budget, save your money, cover other areas instead. So why do you need it? What do you want to include in your cover? Okay. So remember, insurance is all about need. It's all about need. It's good to just want this, want that. I want, £1 million in my bank account, but I got to work hard to get it. But there are certain things that you need, and you just need to focus on those areas first. And again, that's just how you can manage, depending on whatever budget you have. So what would you like your insurance to include? Do you want it to be able to pay you if you're in a hospital due to an illness, due to an injury? Do you want it to be able to cater for hospital bills in case you are abroad, etc.? Do you want it to be able to pay you out, give you a lump sum if you are seriously ill or diagnosed? Do you want it to be paying you every month if you are unable to go to work because of an illness or an injury? What do you want your insurance cover to include? Again, that is a very important question you need to factor in. Another thing is, how much can I afford? How much can I afford? One thing I find myself saying to my client a lot lately is that, listen, you are not the same as your neighbor. You're not the same as the person that introduced, you to me. There's a certain level of budget that they may have that will be different from yours. You might be able to afford more budget, which will allow you to be able to cover yourself to a higher degree of quality. Whereas the other person may not be able to have the same level of budget. And as a result, they can only do something smaller, again, to meet their budget. So it's quite important to understand, how much am I willing to spend? How much can I afford? Of course, the greater your budget, the better the value of what you can take out. So again, it depends on you. And one thing I always say is, there's no way I'm paying more for Sky TV, more for Virgin Media, more for all these other unnecessary expenses than my own personal life or family insurance policies. Okay, because if anything does happen, those direct debits will still be demanding a payment, whereas the insurance is the one that will actually now step in. So how long you might need the cover for? How long do you need it for? Do you want to cover your children until they are no longer financially dependent on you? Or do you want a policy that will take you all the way to your retirement age? Then, because between now and retirement age, and that's when there's more financial risk, when the risk is not there anymore once you've retired, because you're now receiving pension. So do you want to cover yourself all the way to retirement age, maybe a little bit later? And most policy providers will only, most insurers will only cover you to a maximum of 90. But it's not just about being covered till 90. There are certain policies that will cater for even past 90, such as whole of life or funeral cover, once you get into an age where your children are now grown, okay? But effectively, you want to make sure you maximize whatever budget you have to focus on the time period that is most relevant, which is typically between now and retirement age, okay? And then also whether you want the cover to cover just yourself or also your loved ones as well. So again, these basic questions you want to ask yourself as to, which will help you to determine what you can get and etc. Now, going to the how. How is it important? Why is it important? I should say, the first question I would say is, I do get a lot of people who says that, Steve, I don't believe in insurance. And the first thing I always say to them is, okay, why? Why not? And sometimes they say it's because, number one, if you're a religious man, God is my insurance. And if not, they just say, no, I just don't believe in insurance. Insurance don't pay. And one thing that I always say is that if you think insurance don't pay, the question is, where is your evidence? Where is your proof? If you're telling me that a friend of yours, something happened to your friend and he or she did not get a claim, the question I would ask is, did your friend really tell you the full details of that incident? Because sometimes your friend may not have, the friends may not unfortunately disclose everything to us and just say the insurance don't play. It could be that your friend didn't disclose their correct health, and as a result, their claim was not successful. It could be that there was something that was within the policy that prohibits such a claim. Maybe, for example, your friend only has a life insurance policy, and your friend has had a serious accident. So you can't claim from a life insurance policy because you're still alive. So again, there's a lot of different reasons as to why maybe a claim didn't go through. But I would never say that, insurance don't pay. In fact, it's to the interest of the insurance companies to ensure that they pay, because the more they pay, the the better the ratings, the better the word of mouth, the better the publicity, and and the money is there in the industry to pay. So it's always to their benefit to ensure that a claim is successful, as long as the customer does the right thing. And for those clients who says, "Oh, God is my insurance," and just one thing I always say is, okay, fair enough for you. You believe that your God is your insurance, but you drive. You're driving a car right now, are you not? And they say, yes, I'm driving a car. And I said, but why are you driving a car? Because the car, for it to be on the road, it needs car insurance. And they said, yeah, it's because it's mandatory. Then I say, well, if the concept of insurance is the same as car as well as your life, you've now bought into car insurance just for convenience to be able to drive, then how strong then is your conviction? Because surely if you don't believe in insurance as a whole, you shouldn't even be driving a car. You should be riding a bike, taking public transport. So if then your conviction is not that strong, that you'll rather drive a car than your personal life insurance for your family, then the real issue here, the real objection here is not that you don't believe in insurance. So the question is why? Why would you rather have a car insurance and all these other, insurance itself, but not protect yourself and your family? If anything happens to your family, do you want them to be struggling financially? Do you want them to be doing a GoFundMe page? Again, you want to ask yourself these questions. How good is it? How would you feel if something happens to you today and you're leaving behind a loved one and the children as well? Okay, so again, you want to ask yourself these questions. So the insurance is very important. And the other thing I would say is, if you were booking a flight and you were going to, let's just say, somewhere exotic, let's just say Jamaica. You're going to Jamaica or St. Lucia, and you find out that the aircraft you're about to take doesn't have life jackets, and also the oxygen masks don't work. Would you take that flight? The answer is probably going to be no. And the question is, why not? You say it's because of safety, because of risk, because anything could happen. In the same way, your life, anything could happen. So if you will not take that plane because it doesn't have those safety features, how can we then go about our daily lives not having putting protections in place for our loved ones? Because at the end of the day, anything could also happen. So again, a food for thought. Okay, so today's video was just on how insurance works, why it is important, and something for you to consider if you don't already have insurance. So the next videos, we're going to be dissecting the different type of insurances. And so hopefully you stay tuned for those videos. Please, once again, like and subscribe and share and comment on these videos and help me to push it out there. Because the more people are knowledged, the more people are filled with knowledge from videos like this, the more at least they can now begin to make the right decision. So once again, this is Stephen Obiade, Financial Protection Advisor. If you need anything at all with regards to, reviewing your policies, please, there should be a link in the description to my Google form. Fill it out and then I'll be in contact with you and we can go from there. Thank you for tuning in today. Take care. Bye.